Have you ever wondered who you really are when no one's watching? When you scroll, post, or comment, who is actually speaking? Is it you or the image of you that the internet has sculpted? Carl Jung once said that every human carries a shadow, the unseen, repressed part of the psyche that we hide from ourselves. But what happens when that shadow goes online? In today's digital age, our screens have become psychological mirrors. Each filtered selfie, each carefully worded tweet is part of performance, a projection of the persona Jung described, the mask we wear to face society. Yet, as the persona grows stronger, the authentic self slips quietly into the background. We become fragmented, one self online, another offline, and a third one buried deep within, silently observing the show. In this video, we're diving deep into the Jungian shadow of online identity. You'll learn how the internet doesn't just reflect your personality, it amplifies your hidden parts. We'll explore how your online mask may be concealing repressed emotions, desires, and fears, and how confronting this digital shadow can help you rediscover authenticity in an artificial world. By the end, you'll see that your online life isn't separate from your real one. It's an X-ray of your unconscious mind. If you're ready to unmask the truth, stay till the end, because what you're about to discover could permanently change how you see yourself online. And before we begin, subscribe to The Hidden Self for more cinematic explorations where dark psychology meets philosophy. Here, we don't just scroll through the surface, we dive beneath it. Jung described the persona as the mask each of us wears to adapt to society, a necessary fiction that helps us function. It isn't inherently false, it's a social tool. But when we mistake the mask for the face beneath, the problem begins. Online, this mask becomes digital armor. Platforms reward image over essence, appearance over authenticity. We curate smiles, crop sadness, and caption our emptiness with irony. Our profiles are stage performances, and the audience's applause, likes, shares, comments, becomes our emotional currency. Think of Emma, a 24-year-old artist. Offline, she's quiet, introspective, a little unsure. Online, her feed is luminous. Aesthetic photos, poetic captions, #authentic hashtags. Her persona gleams with confidence, but behind every post, she edits away doubt, loneliness, and imperfection. The more she polishes the mask, the more she forgets the person underneath. The internet amplifies Jung's concept of the persona because it provides infinite mirrors. Each screen reflects back not just who we are, but who we want to be. Over time, we begin living for that reflection. This curated self feels safer. But Jung warned, the more we identify with our persona, the more power we give to our shadow, the rejected parts of ourselves we refuse to see. Online, that shadow hides behind every filter, every fake smile, every performance of moral perfection. We begin to sense a quiet tension, a split between who we show and who we truly are. And that split has a price. When your online self becomes disconnected from your inner self, you live in psychological fragmentation. You might notice it as anxiety after posting, comparing, or scrolling. That small sting when someone else's life looks better. Or the shame of realizing you care more about engagement than meaning. Jung believed that what we repress doesn't disappear. It waits. The shadow bides its time, emerging to projection, envy, or moral outrage. Online, this looks like attacking others for traits we secretly dislike in ourselves. Obsessively curating an image of perfection. Or chasing validation to silence self-doubt. Consider Liam, who constantly mocks influencers for being fake. But beneath his sarcasm lies jealousy, a repressed desire for attention, recognition, significance. His digital aggression is not rebellion. It's the shadow's voice demanding to be seen. This disconnection breeds emotional exhaustion. We scroll for connection but feel emptier. We post to express ourselves, but end up performing for algorithms. Cancel culture is a modern manifestation of the collective shadow, a moral purge where society projects its own unacknowledged darkness onto convenient targets. In Jungian terms, we externalize our guilt instead of integrating it. Every time we deny our own flaws and attack them in others, the shadow grows stronger. In Jung's therapy, healing begins when we recognize that the darkness we see in the world often mirrors our own. Online, this means realizing that the comments you hate most may reflect the parts of you refuse to confront. The shadow isn't evil. It's simply the side of you that's been exiled. Your anger, envy, fear, lust, ambition, insecurity, all hiding in the dark corners of your psyche. The internet is a perfect breeding ground for the shadow because it offers anonymity without accountability. Behind the keyboard, you're safe. You can project, mock, flirt, exaggerate, or perform, and the real-world consequences feel distant. It's a digital dreamscape where the unconscious roams free. Think about the troll. Often, it's not a random stranger. It's the shadow self of the everyday person, someone who in real life feels powerless or unseen. Online, they unleash the repressed aggression society forbids. The screen becomes a portal for the shadow to act without shame. But it isn't just trolls. Even curated envy, the endless scrolling through perfect lives, is a shadow activity. We envy what we repress. If we envy beauty, we've denied our own. If we despise arrogance, we've hidden our own desire for recognition. The online shadow reveals itself in our digital habits. The double life of private browsing, the obsession with anonymous confession boards, the thrill of secret accounts where we're freer, bolder, crueler, or more honest. Jung wrote that everyone carries a shadow, and unless it is embodied in the individual's conscious life, the blacker and denser it is. The more you deny your darkness, the more it controls you online and offline. Unmasking the shadow begins when you stop saying, "That's not me," and start asking, "What part of me is showing up here?" The goal isn't to delete your accounts or escape the internet. It's to integrate the parts of yourself that emerge there. Jung called this process individuation, becoming whole by uniting the conscious and unconscious. Online, individuation means learning to bring awareness into your digital behavior. Here are 3 psychological steps to begin that process. 1. Awareness. Observe without judgment. ***. When you scroll, notice what triggers you, who irritates you, who fascinates you. Each emotional spike is a clue from your shadow saying, "There's something here you haven't faced." 2. Reflection. Ask deeper questions. ***. Why do you post what you post? Is it to share, to connect, or to be seen? Does your online presence reflect who you are, or who you wish others believed you to be? 3. Integration. Confront and express consciously. ***. If you find envy, admit it. If you find pride, own it. Bring the shadow into the light by acknowledging it through writing, art, honest conversation, or mindful creation. For instance, Maya, a YouTuber, noticed she felt resentful of successful creators. Instead of denying it, she explored the feeling, realizing it masked her fear of not being good enough. By owning that fear, she transformed envy into motivation and authenticity. Her videos became more vulnerable, and her audience felt the shift. Integration doesn't mean perfection. It means awareness. It's learning to let both your light and darkness coexist online, without shame. When you become aware of your digital shadow, you no longer need project it. You become whole, even in the virtual world. We live in an era where algorithms reward imitation and conformity. Yet Jung's philosophy reminds us that true growth happens through differentiation, the courage to be yourself amidst the noise. Authenticity online is radical because it defies the algorithm. It's not the loudest, brightest, or most viral. It's the most real. Imagine an internet where people share not just what's perfect, but what's true, where vulnerability isn't weakness, but wisdom, where the shadow isn't hidden, but integrated. When you align your online persona with your authentic self, you stop chasing validation and start creating meaning. You might lose followers, but you'll gain integrity. Authenticity begins when you stop posting to impress and start expressing to connect. When your digital presence becomes an extension of your real values, your shadow softens. It no longer needs to scream for attention through projection or performance. This is the real revolution of consciousness Jung envisioned, a world where technology doesn't disconnect us from ourselves, but helps us mirror our unconscious with awareness and courage. In an age where AI imitates humanity, your authenticity becomes your greatest form of resistance. So, what have we uncovered in this exploration of Jung's shadow of online identity? We've learned that our digital persona, the mask we wear for the world, isn't the enemy. It's a tool. But when that mask becomes our face, our shadow begins to rule from the dark. We saw how repression breeds fragmentation, how the internet amplifies projection, and how awareness can turn darkness into integration. We discovered that every comment, post, and profile reveals something psychological, not just about the world, but about you. Your digital self is not an illusion, it's a mirror, but the reflection you see depends on how willing you are to look. The next time you feel the urge to post, pause for a moment. Ask, who is speaking, my persona or myself? What part of me wants to be seen right now? If you can answer honestly, you're already integrating the shadow, because self-awareness is the light that keeps the digital darkness at bay. In the end, Jung's lesson is simple. You cannot become whole by deleting your darkness, only by embracing it. And in our connected world, that means facing not just a shadow within, but the one on the screen before you. If this exploration resonated with you, don't just scroll away. Reflect. Share your thoughts below. Which part of your digital self feels like a mask? And for more deep dives into dark psychology, philosophy, and the modern soul, subscribe to The Hidden Self, ***. Here, we reveal the truths most people scroll past. Until next time, look within even when the mirror is digital.